Hi, I'm Becky Malby, and this is Karen Shackleton. And Karen started our Clean Water in the Wharfe at Ilkley campaign. So I'm just going to get Karen to tell you a bit about the story of how on earth we've got to the situation we've got into. So Karen, how does it start? What happened?
Well, first of all, it was brought to my attention by Steve Fairburn of the Ilkley Anglers Association. He was complaining that instead of catching fish on his line, he was catching sanitary towels, condoms, and toilet paper, amongst other things. And so I thought, well, I'll go and have a look and see what's going on.
Yeah.
What I found was quite shocking. There was a week in April last year where the sewage was pumping out with such force that it was going straight across to the other side of the river and as far down as the eye could see, basically turning our river into an open sewer. In June, there was a sudden downpour and the river had been that low because there'd been no rain since then, that the sewage was going out across the Pebble Beach where families had been picnicking, playing and swimming on, and into the river, and that had been sat there festering since then for about another month before another rainfall event, and again the same happened. And we took some pictures, posted it on Ilkley Chat, which was followed up by Stray FM, and before we knew it, Look North and ITV Calendar were showing it on the television, and so we had to bring it up with the council.
But this has been around, I mean, you found out that it's been going on for some time, so why hasn't anybody taken any notice before?
I don't think people realised what was happening because it's down at the riverbank and it goes under the bank and out, unless you actually know and understand what's coming out there. And of course, when it's raining, people usually head off inside to avoid the rain, and unless you're a dog walker or somebody like that has to be out there, nobody notices it happening.
So we've had a bit of a shock, haven't we? Because what we found was, we started posting this, didn't we, on Ilkley Chat and getting people involved, and then we found that our river isn't a designated swimming river.
No, there's no designated bathing site in Ilkley, despite it being a spa town. And nobody seems to be taking any responsibility for looking at the quality of the water and if it is fit for people to be using as a recreational facility.
So are there any designated bathing rivers in the country, Karen?
There are no designated bathing rivers whatsoever. There's only bathing beaches on the coasts.
Wow. So none of our rivers are safe to swim in?
Well, some are safer than others, clearly, but obviously ours, I wouldn't put my dog in there for a swim, never mind, take children down there.
And then we've got a page on our website, and that shows all the stories of people that sent us. When you put this up on Ilkley Chat, people sending stories about kids being sick, not going to school, animals being sick. And we just got an outpouring, didn't we? And people horrified that you can't swim in the river. They had no idea, because the only warning signs are about cold water, aren't they?
There are no signs whatsoever up along the river that this is happening and this is going into the river. The people that were getting sick were in Burley, obviously that's downstream of Ilkley, and they had no idea whatsoever what was going on, and people were missing school, missing day trips out. Some people have got cryptosporidium, and had long-standing problems after swimming in the river.
So we've got people swimming in the river not knowing that there's raw sewage being discharged into the river, and then we've also got the Environment Agency saying to us that the water quality is okay and that it's fine, and Yorkshire Water is allowed to, every time it rains or when it rains heavily, to discharge into the river. So why is the Environment Agency saying the water's fine?
I don't know why the Environment Agency are claiming the water is fine. The water actually fails in the standards set out by the Water Framework Directive. They should be good by 2027. Ours is actually, in fact, moderate, despite the Environment Agency claiming in front of Ilkley Council that it was good and reaching those targets. They were asked to check this with our meeting with John Grogan. They again claimed it was in good condition, whereas in fact it is actually moderate, failing in the targets. and failing on nutrient pollution and fish stocks.
But they don't measure, do they? Now, I'm no expert on all this, Karen, but they measure nutrients, but they don't measure stuff that comes from our wee and poo. So
no,
organic stuff.
They're not measuring the bacterial problems.
So they're not measuring that sort of pollution. They're measuring
the chemical pollution.
Chemical pollution.
Yes.